Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So a quick note about my readings. They are all for your sun, moon or ascendant sign. And also whether you are a sun, moon or rising Gemini, I always urge you to watch all three of them, a video for each one of them, so that it gives you a more complete picture, so that you get to ask yourself, how does this apply to my life, and how does, which one of these speaks more to me. So with that said, if you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you are a new subby or you are just new to my channel, thank you so much for being here, and we'll get straight into it. So I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have La Tour, right? You've got the Tower. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking like, oh, here we go, cheers Raph. Right, but remember, this week your ruler is going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Now this is a fellow air sign to you, so I promise you it won't be as bad as some of the other ones that we've had, right? Air is already an element that you're comfortable with, and the Mercury retrograde that's happening in the sign of Aquarius is offering a trine energy to you. So this is really great because in a lot of ways it's going to really allow you to allow you to maybe bring something back into the fold. That's what retrogrades are for, you know, to look over things, to redo or reevaluate or reassess. But when the Mercury retrograde offers a trine energy to your own sign, very often this can bring an old opportunity back into the fore in some way, shape or form. So with that said, quick announcement. If you don't know, I have a new channel that is solely dedicated to meditations and guided visualizations. If you want to have a look at those, check out my new channel. It's called ReyLaxation. And with that said, your actions and options this week, you have the Page of Swords, right? So this week you are all about the facts and the figures, and I'm going to be really honest with you, because we have a Mercury retrograde, and because even, you know, with what I just said to you, and you also have the Tower card, you are still going to be dealing with the facts. However, how you are received may this week come across as a little bit aggressive, and it's really important this week that you find time or make time to, this isn't about being beholden to others. It's about making sure that what you say is understood, so it can't be misconstrued. And the reason I say that is because the Page of Swords can sometimes be it's kind of like a baby version of the Knight of Swords, not so much it's like aggressive communication, but it can be a misunderstanding. And because this is in your actions and options, how you're speaking this week, it's kind of like you're going to feel like, okay, I'm speaking English and everybody else seems to be hearing something completely different, and you might feel like you're getting really pent up about that. So just, take an extra moment this week to explain exactly what you mean. The clearer you are this week, the more time you take with that, especially with anything to do with job interviews, where you're speaking to, bosses, superiors, etc. Just be sure to go that extra mile to explain yourself a little bit clearer, all right? That way you can alleviate any of the, what the bleep did they just say? For your communications and conversations, you have the King of Pentacles. All right, so this is nice. When it comes to communications this week, it does look like you are going to be speaking to bosses, superiors. It's interesting that I mentioned that, right? This week you are going to be talking to people that, are movers and shakers in some way, shape or form. Now, because this is right underneath the Tower card as well, when it comes to finances this week, it's really important, again, if you're purchasing anything online this week, don't refresh the page, because this is where you could end up buying 3 or 4 of the same item, all of that kind of thing. Like, these two things when it comes to any sort of money signature can be a little bit sketchy, so just be aware of that this week, especially if you're buying something over the phone, all of that kind of stuff. Just be cautious this week. So for those of you that are employed by somebody else, you could be called upon this week, and this is the kind of the issue, right? This week you could be called upon for your opinion. You come in, you start delivering the facts exactly as they are. And you know, maybe you're met with like the fluoride stare. If you know, then you know. And maybe there's a part of you that thinks, okay, well, you asked me for my opinion and now you're getting annoyed with, you know, the facts that I'm giving you. Again, just find a way to speak about it in, what's the word? Find a way to speak about it in a way that is impersonal, right? Take your emotion out of it and do more of the air sign thing. When it comes to your, for those of you that work for yourselves, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, this could be a good week. It may, though, see an opportunity that comes up this week is going to cost you a lot more than it looks like on the surface. And I just want you to be really aware of that. It will definitely do what it says it's going to do, but, you know, maybe you get hooked in with the, oh, it's only going to cost you this, and then before you know it, you realize there's all these other charges to it. Be aware of that this week. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this is going to see you really focused on how you can maybe assist somebody else with their career, or for a lot of you, this is going to see you getting really serious about your investment game. You know, what is your money doing and how can it work harder for you? Now, remember, there is a Mercury retrograde, so you just want to be aware of that. And like I said, because it's your planet as well, you tend to feel these more than most people anyway. You know, unless you were born with Mercury retrograde, in which case it works very differently for you. So for your money and materials, you have the 9 of Cups. I mean, your money's good, right? Considering everything that's here, you know, and interestingly enough, some of the other signs, their money is funny this week, right? But yours really isn't. Yours is in a good space. What I will say to you is, when it comes to your finances and there's definitely chances or opportunities to get ahead here. You're just going to have to be really discerning on what they are. And especially for those of you that are interacting with superiors or people that can assist you in some way, just be clear on what it is that is expected of you to deliver. And more importantly, be clear on whether you can actually deliver what you're being asked for. When it comes to your physical health and vitality this week, this would be your feet, toes, ankles, you know, all of that as well. And because it's right on top of that Page of Swords, the mind is going to be very busy this week, right? So just look out for your tootsies, because you know, walking into door frames, cracking toes, done it all before, and you know, it's not pleasant. Especially like if you're doing any sort of workout this week, pay attention to what you're doing, because if you drop a weight on your foot, you're going to know about it. When it comes to your home and environment, the 9 of Cups is, you know, lush, right? This is a great card for the home and environment because it makes things easy there. So the world outside might be a bit crazy, obviously. Isn't it nice though that we all get to kind of shelter ourselves in? This is why every morning, without fail, the first thing that I do is put my hand on the wall next to my bed, and I say thank you to the home for looking after me, housing me, sheltering me from the elements, all the rest of it. And so part of my gratitude practice, and it's really, really important to me. So just a little side tangent there. For your love and relations, you have the 5 of Pentacles. Right, so okay, one thing that you need to be aware of this week, for those of you that are partnered or in relationships, your money is good. Your partner's finances look like they are taking a dip. This could be that their hours are reduced. It could be, you know, I'm really sorry to say, some of them could be losing a job this week. It's definitely a potential. Why do I say that? The Page of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, and you've got the Tower card infusing all of this. So, you know, just be aware of that. When it comes to those of you that are single, sorry to say, but it's just not really a week for love. You've got way too much more else going on this week. And as such, I think you should put your focus on the things that are demanding your attention right now. That's not to say that you won't have time or space for love this week. You absolutely will, right? You absolutely will. Just be aware that it's probably not this week. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.